The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that doing.
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Wednesday, the 18th day of March, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Mia Chambray. And we'll have Taylor Dill in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break. Mia, happy Wednesday, or as our good friend Dr. Anthony Richardson in the audience says, happy hump day, Bermuda, from ye old London town.
Oh my gosh. Good morning, and good morning, Dr. Richardson. I can't believe you're tuning in all the way from London. That's really exciting. Happy Wednesday indeed. And it's almost the time for the spring equinox, Jamal. Tomorrow it will be exactly the same amount of hours of darkness as it is of light. So I think that happens tomorrow, or the 19th and the 20th.
So hold on. You mean that winter's coming to an end soon?
Yes, winter is coming to an end soon.
Yeah. You know, in Atlanta, it was like 80 degrees the other day. I went for a 4-mile walk on the Beltline Saturday. And then I had snow flurries like within 48 hours. So it was just like, yeah, exactly. Oh, like it's strange. It's very strange. But hey, gotta appreciate Mother Nature for what she is. You know, gives us such beauty. I really do. Although I don't like hot weather or freezing temps.
No.
What I really do appreciate is the beauty that nature is. Like the things that it gives us, the earth, the oxygen, everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spring. No, I must say, fall's my favorite season. Spring is number 2.
I know.
But I say this about spring. I do feel sorry for allergy folks. I really do.
Yeah, I've actually been experiencing some allergies. My mom keeps saying to me, "Do you have a cold?" And I'm like, "No, I think it's just allergies. I feel fine, but I'm just like getting kind of congested." Yeah, so I know. Sorry to all my other allergy gals and gentlemen out there. We're suffering.
What's that called? Claritin or something? Does that?
I don't really take anything. I just do like hot water and lemon and just hope for the best. Just hope for the best.
Does honey help? I don't know.
Honey does. Bermuda honey does. It actually helps to abate your allergen symptoms because it actually takes. So it has to be local honey. Yes, absolutely.
Get yourself some local honey, folks. All right, folks. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome our colleague, Sloane Johnson, on from Consumer Affairs. It's Consumer Awareness Month, folks, and we're going to be discussing. This is a conversation I love because we've had this topic on the show before. How can we be better consumers? We've had this topic on the show before. How should we respond to what we deem bad service? I love this conversation. And Mia, in retail, I love most of us. Well, I'm sure all of us are customers and consumers in some respects. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. The Daily Play is going to be music and entertainment today. Yep. I think you all have got this one. I think Mia's got it. Yeah, I think you all have this one. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, questions of the morning. What do you think needs to happen to curb gun violence in Bermuda? And do you feel safe in Bermuda today? Well, what are we talking about today, folks? Another name, another loss. Once again, we had a familiar headline. On Monday, police named the victim in the latest gun murder. This latest incident, which took place in Southampton, marks the island's first gun murder of 2026, following reports of gunshots in the Riviera Estate area in the middle of the afternoon. And while the details of this investigation will continue to unfold, what never changes is the impact. A life lost, a family grieving, a community shaken. Because every time the police name the victim, what we're really hearing is that someone's son, brother, friend, someone known, someone loved is now gone. And we've been here before. We've had the press conferences. We've heard the appeals for witnesses. We've had the conversations about gangs, retaliation, and cycles of violence. But the uncomfortable question remains, why does this keep happening? Is it a small group of individuals driving most of this violence? Is it about unresolved conflicts that escalate too quickly? Is it about silence, people knowing but not speaking? Or is it something deeper, a cultural issue, how we handle conflict, pride, and accountability? Because at this point, it's not just about policing, it's about prevention, it's about intervention, and it's about whether we as a community are willing to play a role in stopping this before another name gets added to the list. So today, we're not asking what happened, we're asking what needs to change. Mia, I know you have a lot to say on this topic.
I do. Well, Jamal, let me just preface this with that I just most recently moved out of the Riviera Road area. So where this violent incident occurred was just down the hill from where I previously rented an apartment with my family. So it's a place where my son, I have a little boy, he's 7 years old, and lots of his neighborhood friends would be running up and down the hill, running all through this area. I deemed it as and I'm sure many Bermudians deem their neighborhoods as a very safe neighborhood, very comfortable with the kids being out on the bikes. I'm trying not to be a helicopter parent, so allowing them some autonomy. And on a Sunday afternoon, murder should never happen, but on a Sunday afternoon at 3:00 and somewhere that my son and neighborhood children are very familiar with running all over the place, somebody, as you said, lost their life. And that's very scary to me as a mom, as a person in the community. But I'm not naive. I don't think that violence just comes out of the thin air. There obviously was a series of events and perhaps a long-standing history for either that person or their involvement in the community or their lack of support from the community. And the persons involved in the perpetrators, there seems to be, we're falling down. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine who's a child psychologist here on the island. And I said, as a normie, that's me, that's you, Jamal, normal people, what can we do to help support? Because I don't want to keep crying about things being I just don't want to keep harping on the negativity. I want to actually help. And her response was, we need to totally change the education system. We need more support in education. We need more paras, for example. There needs to be more therapy, both in private and public schools. We just need more outreach programs for children. There's no more places for kids to go after school and kind of let off steam. And there just is not as much community outreach as there once was, or places for kids to go. So it starts there, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Audience, what are your thoughts? What do you think needs to happen to curb violence in Bermuda? And do you feel safe in Bermuda today, yes or no? Let's go to Limestone Living says, tackling its root causes, particularly the factors that draw young people into gang life. Many are influenced by limited economic opportunities, the high cost of living, a lack of belonging or support. Goes on to say, Limestone Living goes on to say, gangs often fill this gap by offering money, identity, and protection. To disrupt this cycle, there must be a strong focus on creating pathways for young people through employment, skill training, mentorship, and early intervention so they have viable, positive alternatives to gang involvement. What else, audience? What are your thoughts? What do you think needs to happen to curb gun violence in Bermuda? And do you feel safe in Bermuda? Yes or no? This is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, the police and courts can't deal with this problem by themselves. The people in the community must also engage in arresting this problem. We must also teach our young people the skills for effective nonviolent conflict resolution skills. You know, it's interesting that you say that the police and the courts can't deal with this problem themselves. This isn't a police and courts problem.
Correct.
This is not like when we start to think about the police and the courts, that's after the fact.
Yes.
Right? That's after the fact. You know, I saw something on Maja's list yesterday. And, you know, when we talk about root causes, let me just go to TDH group because that's where we so on Maja's list, someone wrote, "Good evening. I want to sincerely apologize to anyone who was affected by a video circulating today involving my child behaving in a disrespectful and inappropriate manner on a public bus. As a parent, I take full responsibility for addressing this behavior. This is not a reflection of values I am working to instill, and I am taking this matter very seriously. I have already begun having important conversations with my child and will be taking appropriate steps to ensure accountability, learning, and growth from this situation. To those who were directly impacted, I am truly sorry for any discomfort or distress caused. No one deserves to be spoken to or treated that way. Please, if you know the bus driver and the lady, can message me privately. I also ask for understanding and grace as I handle this privately within my family. This is a moment for correction and growth, and I am committed to doing the work necessary to guide my child in a better direction. Thank you." I don't know this young lady who wrote that.
Same.
But what I'm going to say is it was refreshing to see that kind of accountability loud. I never saw a video. I don't get videos like that. I don't have, you know, maybe people in my circle who share that stuff. And I don't need to see the video to know that if we had more parents like this who, and let's be real, you know, there are parents who have gone on these same platforms and said, "Oh, you don't know the full story. My child, this person done this to my child." She didn't. This woman literally said, "You know what? Hey, look, this is my seed. This is my issue." Right? She apologized for it. She took accountability. That's not the norm in our community today.
No.
The reason I bring that up, folks, is to highlight this point by saying COVID Bermuda, it's a people and community problem. Honestly, I don't disagree. But we cannot allow parents off the hook. No, that said, not all parents are equal. This is not an equitable situation we're talking about. You know, there are some parents, because of how the economy's gone, they have to work multiple jobs. They're doing, you know, they may have multiple children where they're doing things. That's not blaming them for anything. They're repopulating. That needs to happen in Bermuda, right?
Yes.
But they need the support and resources to be able to ensure that they are raising young people who are able to contribute to a society that is beneficial for us all. Again, audience, what are your thoughts? What do you think needs to happen to curb gun violence in Bermuda? And do you feel safe in Bermuda today? Dr. Anthony Richardson says, the pool of young people that gang members seek membership from are often those alienated from society, similar to how terrorist organizations recruit their members. We need to re-engage with our young people to lure them away from wanting to join gangs or from being in a gang.
I agree. Jamal, one thing, and this is a video I saw on Instagram. I mean, not that I'm taking my life advice from Instagram, but I felt this very inspiring. It was two men. It was a young man and an older man. And the young man came up on the older man in a very aggressive manner. And the older man, he must have been in his 50s or 60s. And the young guy, he was about 18. He just said to the guy, he pushed him off of him and he said, "Hey, are you okay?" And, you know, the 18-year-old had come up to him in a very aggressive manner and said, "Hey, are you okay?" These guys didn't know each other, as far as I know. And the young kid just started breaking down crying. And the 50-year-old man just held him and just said, it's going to be okay. Like, I got you. Like, I'll help you. We need more of that in the community. And I'm asking men and women, of course, but I think we need a lot more. There's a lot of good men in this community, a lot of great men in this community. You yourself, Jamel, Teo, Phil, so many awesome people in our community. How can we engage more great men to step forward and be involved with young men who are struggling?
It's a tough one, though. And this is where it gets interesting, because I remember when I was coaching, I could afford to give up my time for free, whereas others couldn't. And I know, again, when you consider all factors, people are literally just trying to survive right now. And I give grace to people, right? Because you've got people that are out here literally good citizens, but they're unable to give, more. They have their own responsibilities. And I think that those are the situations that now it comes down to, something bigger than individuals and community. It comes down to what resources do we need to kind of address these problems at the root, where people can actually have that flexible time that they once had. When I see organizations looking for mentors and looking for help and there's no one available, it's like, oh, there's plenty of people available. But the truth that and Diallo Urbain said it when he was education minister, right? And I think people were up in arms when he changed some of the needs to apply for certain scholarships, meaning that they had these things where young people had to show that they volunteered for a specific amount of time. And I don't think people understand volunteerism. To be able to volunteer is a privilege. Like, it's not like you got young people that have to pack groceries to even support their families. They don't have the privilege to volunteer and give their time. So things like that are addressing the root causes, because it's like, we have to understand that people who are involved in this, very rarely are they from homes where there's stability. Not saying that, there's everyone in there is a bad person or versus good person, but rarely are they from spaces where they grew up with stability in the home. That's just the facts.
Yeah, that is the facts. But likening back to what you said, maybe it's like they have great people, but their parents are working every hour God sends, and they're not able to be there because literally the cost of living is out of control. So it just goes round and round, Jamel. So I guess this is a call out. If you have availability and time and space to actually give back and pour into the community, please do. Yeah.
Let's go back to the audience. Audience, what do you think? Yes or no? Do you feel safe in Bermuda? That's a yes or no. Do you actually, as an individual, feel safe in Bermuda? And also, what do you think needs to happen to curb gun violence in Bermuda? Like, what do you think needs to happen? I love Mia's suggestions. I do wonder how we can get there, because there was a time when people did volunteer their time. They were able to give back and give more. Now it seems like the only people that are able to give back and give more are those who are financially off, right? And many of them choose to give money rather than time. And when you throw money at stuff, it doesn't always work out in our favor.
Not at all. How about grandpas who are retired?
Audience, real quickly. Shawnette Sumner says, adults do not get involved to fix what's broken. Interesting.
Do you think that's because adults are scared, Jamal, that they're going to get shot?
I'll come back to that, because that's a relevant discussion point. Charles H. Jefferson II says, I often wonder what BDA would be like if those entities who support our young people to keep them from engaging in this behavior were able to spend more time with our young people instead of... Man, Charles, that's what I just said, man. Throwing money at it is very different from engaging them. Thank you. I just said that. I think we tend to throw money at stuff rather than engaging. And this goes back to my points about charity and empowerment, folks. Throwing $250,000 at something without really engaging the problem and realizing that as a million, probably $1 billion entity, you can actually do more, create jobs and opportunities. Right?
Absolutely.
Give as much as you take from I'm gonna go here. One of my biggest problems with businesses in Bermuda, they take more from a community that gives them. And when you have an economy like that, I mean, I read something, I don't know how it's true, but I saw it in some credible news outlets, that a lot of the South Africans who relocated to the United States because of what was happening to white South Africans, want to leave because they're like, oh, it's horrible here. It's worse here than South Africa, right? My point in sharing that is that the grass is not always greener on the side that makes us feel or makes us believe that we're safer. And I think that needs to be top of mind for people. We've got some great salespeople who would make us believe that the sky is green. And when I think of Bermuda's current situation, some of the greatest salespeople in Bermuda are those who can afford to give 10,000 here, 200,000 there. You know why? Because they can do no wrong. Because when they do something, like lay people off or charge you an absorbent amount for something, all is forgotten real fast when they donate some laptops or a couple $1,000. So I think we have to keep things in context and stop thinking that money is going to solve our problems. It's not. Charles H. Jefferson II goes on to say, having said that, I don't recall anything in the budget that would increase the support of those entities. We recently heard about an upcoming event that the government hadn't yet confirmed their support. I think you're talking about Desmond Crockle's event where he's having at the end of March. Dr. Anthony Richardson says we need more youth groups. Bermuda has seen the demise of shrinkage of several youth groups. Groups like the Sea Cadets used to play an active role in their lives of many Bermuda youth. This is not the case currently. I still get emails from Sea Cadets, but I'm not quite sure. Sankofa Bermuda says, so clearly if the cost of living is out of control, then it's a systemic issue. Absolutely, it's systemic. Absolutely. Very. Mia Shonette Sumner says, yes, Mia, people are fearful in the whole if you see something, say something mantra can get you identified and shot. Nothing is kept confidential in Bermuda. Well, we've had these conversations, and Shonette, I'm grateful you said that. I'm grateful you brought it to the forefront because people may have evidence, like they may have ring camera stuff, but they're like, I don't want to share this. Then my house gets identified because of the angle, and then now I have to protect my family. That's relevant.
Yeah, it is. I think it goes back to our conversation that we had when the electrician found the gun in the roof and said something. And this parent who went on Madge's list and held up her hands and showed accountability. We all need to take steps in that direction, because if we all are collectively doing that and spreading our time and giving and pouring back into our young people, we will start to see this ship turn around. That's a fact. Can't get any worse. Yeah.
Manuela says, having a two-parent home does not equal stability. There are parents who do not allow family or others to correct, assist when developing a village. Well, I definitely didn't say that having a two-parent home equals stability. I didn't have a two-parent home, but I came from a very stable home.
Same.
So I don't think that's not what I was referencing. When I'm talking about stability, I had my parents in my life, but I also had uncles. I had, like, for the most part, godparents. Like, it wasn't about just naming the entire damn neighborhood a godparent and then none of them showing up. Like, I actually had active godparents, right? We do things differently now. You know what I mean? Someone has a child and, yeah, godpa, like, that's just, it's ridiculously stupid. Yeah, I said that, and I'm not apologizing because that's just the way we live. We don't live according to accountability and responsibility anymore. We live according to trends and a popularity. I mean, I saw something yesterday on social media said the influencer era is finally coming to an end. And God, I was like so grateful. I cannot stand the freaking Instagram. I know we're on Instagram right now and we utilize it, but I think it done something to our mental, and we were already in a bad space, right?
I agree.
Simply because of the lack of, I'm talking about young people, some adults too, but young people, the lack of involvement from some of the village who fail to protect children from those spaces. Yeah, I blame Mark Zuckerberg for it as well. But just a yes or no, audience, do you feel safe in Bermuda? This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let's go through these final few comments, Mia. Shonette Summers says, people want to help, but then comes 2 years of your life on standby to be a witness to what you saw. And again, your life in jeopardy, a sad cycle. Unfortunate. And Evelyn Trotty says there are numerous organizations available to engage young people. It's up to parents to encourage their young people to attend.
If anybody knows who are in the comments, could you drop some places where kids can go? Like Sea Cadets you mentioned, there's Regiment. I'd love to hear of some more community outreach programs for young kids. If you know of them, please drop them in the comments. We'd love to have them.
Yeah. Do you feel safe in Bermuda? Dr. Anthony Richardson says no. Folks, keep the conversation going. This is not a conversation that should end. We have experienced this all too often. It shouldn't be our norm. None of us should be okay with this being our norm. I feel like, and I say it every time this happens. You notice we didn't have a discussion about this over the last couple of days. That's because I'm just like, we every time this happens, we discuss it and then it's soon forgotten. No one's charged. There's no, convictions. It's a bad cycle. It's an extremely bad cycle, and I don't want to be part of the talking heads without the solutions, right? I think collectively we can solve these problems, but we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let's show them some love. Then we'll get over to Teo Dill for your daily hour news break.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
Alrighty, let's go to Teo Dill for your daily hour news break. In the meantime, folks, if you are streaming with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Don't forget, after that, we've got Sloane Johnson. We're talking about how to be better consumers because I've seen some of you all in action. I've changed over the last 2 years.
Good morning, I'm Teo Dill, and welcome to your TDH News Break brought to you by the great folks at Peoples. Wherever life takes you, Peoples is here when you need us. A familiar face, a caring hand, and a reminder that you matter. Bermuda's historical connection with the Caribbean is indisputable, having always contributed to our culture, perspective, and who we are. This is the key message driving a newly published video on CITV's YouTube page, led by Home Affairs Minister Alexa Lightbourne, intended to help make the argument for Bermuda to assume full CARICOM membership. Here's a snippet of the video.
Late in life, I met my paternal family, and I remember the shift that it had for me, informing my identity like never before. When you understand where you come from, you move differently, you stand differently, you choose differently.
When we look at Bermuda, there's much more to us. When I look at myself, when I think about myself, I think about my grandfather's heritage as a Tahitian.
If you look at the history of Bermuda, you don't have to go too far to find that there's always been a very strong connection.
And CITV published another video yesterday that's frankly more striking. You remember how we talked about how fire ants have made it to Bermuda and how we should all be careful and report sightings to DENR, etc.? Well, the government has published a video explaining this issue in Tagalog, that is, the native language of Filipino folks. Here's what the piece looks and sounds like.
Fire ants o mga pulang langgam na parang hantik kung makatusok ay isang dayong langgam na wala dapat sa Bermuda, ngunit ito ay natagpuan. Ang mga langgam na ito ay nananalakay kapag ang kanilang pugad ay naistorbo.
Now, I may be forgetting some stuff, but this feels to me like the first time that Bermuda's government's released a PSA that was not in English for the sake of minority members of our community. I'm honestly really impressed and happy about this. Shout out to CITV. Now, that said, we need and have for years much, much more when it comes to Azorean PSAs. I'm just saying. Now, staffing shortages at major U.S. airports are starting to ripple into Bermuda's travel network, and the impact could build quickly. Reports show increased absentee rates among airport security personnel at key hubs like New York and Atlanta, slowing passenger processing and tightening departure timelines. And because Bermuda depends on gateway cities like New York, Boston, Atlanta, Philly, and Miami, even small slowdowns can cascade. We're talking missed connections, delayed arrivals, aircraft falling out of position, all of which can disrupt the island's inbound flow within hours. So this isn't about shutdowns, it's about strain. Because for Bermuda, the reliability of LF Wade starts with how efficient U.S. airports are staffed. And with that in mind, here's an explanation of what's happening right now in Philadelphia, one of our key gateway cities, since we need to know what's likely to impact our ability to reliably get off the rock. Now, in a complete change of direction, I had a conversation at school yesterday about the number of Bermudian Olympians, that is 138. And it got me thinking about what that number means per capita compared with the rest of the world. And it turns out Bermuda doesn't just show up at the Olympics. Per head, we compete on a completely different scale. With roughly 8 athletes from a population of 60,000 or so, that's about 12 to 13 athletes per 100,000 people. You compare that to the US at 0.18, the UK at 0.5, and Canada just under 1 per 100,000. That medal per 30,000 people, placing it top 10 globally for medals per capita and top 5 for golds. Now, just compare that to major countries where millions of people share each medal. You see what I'm saying? So while the numbers look surprising, and it may not always feel like it, the reality is Bermuda has quietly built one of the most efficient Olympic talent systems in the world. And today should have a dry start before being pushed out of our airspace by a wetter, more unsettled pattern over the next few days. Today starts mostly cloudy with showers developing later on as a slow-moving front edges closer to the island. Winds stay southerly, moderate to strong, easing slightly through the morning and shifting at times. We're looking at a high near 72, low around 65. And looking ahead, conditions turn more active with heavier rain likely into Thursday and Thursday night as that front stalls in our airspace. So keep your umbrella nearby over the next couple of days. You are going to need it. And that's your TDH News Break brought to you by the great folks at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Now back to the show.
Thanks for that, Teo. Did we really do something in Filipino language before Portuguese?
I know. I was thinking the same thing, honey.
Okay. Yeah, and Teo, thanks for making that, because I was thinking it, but when you said it, I'm like, okay. As far as CARICOM, I just wonder why there's not as much resistance to the UK and the US or Canada as there is to CARICOM. I wonder, because the only difference is the complexion of people's skin, mainly. I'm just saying. I just don't get why we need so much more information on CARICOM or more convincing, but we don't need convincing like that to remain a territory of the UK or maintain certain relationships with the US. Like, if we're honest, if we're really honest, the only true difference is how we feel about the regions. I mean, you don't need to think deeply about that. Let's be completely honest about this. I think I've already said, I know it's not going to happen in my lifetime, but an independent Bermuda, that should be on everyone's agenda. You should want to be independent. The same way the US went independent from the Britain, the same way Bahamas and Barbados, which to me is the example we all should be looking to. But then they screw us with Haiti and Jamaica. CARICOM, I don't get the hesitation. I don't. Based on what I've read, I don't get it. And if I don't know, you all, I already told you all certain things. I don't believe in democracy. I'm making things. You elect us, and we're there to make decisions. Yes, I think the people matter, and we have to. Sometimes the people don't know what's in their best interest. But don't sit here and tell me that you reject it and you can't give like foundational reasons outside of, well, those countries are what? And I love Sir John, but we disagree highly on that one. I'm sorry. Because some of the most prominent businesses in Bermuda, while they were telling us that we're better than those folks down in those islands, they were building their big businesses down there. You know, the banks and insurance companies and even those hotels. So why is it good for them, but not us? Let's have an honest conversation. And if we did, we'll understand the underlying truths that we'd uncover about what we've been taught, what we've been told, and how we actually and why we actually feel what we do. All right. Mia, you got any days of the year for us?
Yes, the day of the year today there's actually lots of really good ones today. It's hard to choose, but the one that made me laugh the most was National Awkward Moments Day. So today is National. So Jamel, have you had an audience? Have you had any recent awkward moments? I'll start first. Last year, I went to hand in a form, and I unfortunately thought I was handing the form in one room, and I went into a completely wrong room. And it ended up being in someone's memorial tribute of someone who had just passed away. And it was just me and like 6 other people. And I was in bike shorts and a Prince t-shirt at this person's memorial. I didn't even know what was going on. I was just trying to hand in a form. I ended up having to try and be part of someone's like memorial who had just passed away. I was mortified. It was like one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
That's an interesting one. Probably.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Awkward. I'm gonna get too personal. I'm not gonna call names.
Okay.
So I protect my peace. I do everything to protect my peace. And one of the things I've learned recently is if someone puts me in an awkward position, I don't really want to be around them. So like if you and I are driving, Mia, and you all of a sudden start acting out like aggressive to people, I probably won't want to be in your car anymore.
Yeah.
Because it puts me in a very awkward position that I don't agree with your behavior. So I'm gonna say, yeah, that's probably my awkwardness. Like if I'm around, like if you and I are out to dinner and you treat the waiter or something like a certain way, that puts me in an awkward position. I ain't gonna want to eat out with you no more.
Yeah.
That's it.
What are some people's either awkward moments that they've just experienced, or like no, like they have boundaries? Like if someone does something, it makes them feel awkward. Let us know in the comments.
Want to read this comment by Charles because Charles is my boy. It's my brother. But this is a comment that I disagree with 1,000,000%. Charles says respectfully, the cycle has changed, and I remember a time when these incidents were happening under the cover of darkness without many people around. We have now seen at least 3 murders in broad daylight. Charles, and I'm going to tell you because you're my brother, I'm going to tell you in public, this is just wrong. When my friends in my neighborhood were being murdered, that was broad daylight. Kenwande Robinson, Joshua Robinson, broad daylight, May 2009. But it was where it happened, why it didn't matter, why people don't attach it to being so wrong. On Good Friday in 2010, I believe it was, when Kenwande Walker was murdered broad daylight in front of his children at Victor Scott, that was broad daylight. This is not new or changed. The only thing that's really changed is where it's happening. So I just want us to be very conscious when we say things or think things like this, because remember, I said I love doing this show because narratives are important. Narratives are important. So that's just not true, Charles. I've lost people in broad daylight. It's been a norm that should have never been. All right. Let's go to, well, we got an awkward moment for you here, Mia. Awkward moment. Last week, Thursday, starting a full-blown conversation with a guy who had his head down, thinking it was my cousin due to his hairstyle. He looked up. No, I think that's the one for the day. Shawnette.
Bless you, Shawnette.
I've had that in an airport one time, thinking it was someone I knew and been like, then I realized not the person. And I looked past him like I was talking to someone else and there was no one in back of him. So,
whoops.
All right, folks, let's take our first break. Don't forget, exciting conversation with Sloane Johnson coming up. Consumer Affairs, folks. It's Consumer Awareness Month. We're going to talk about how you all keep going online and blasting companies. Yeah. No, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Take a look at our workbook for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
What lasts isn't what you buy, but what it becomes. With the HSBC MasterCard credit card, every spend quietly adds to a story shaped by intention and offers what matters most. Support that meets you where you are. Protection that preserves what you choose. Confidence for the unexpected. Peace of mind wherever your story leads. Start your next chapter. Use your card today. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
What if the age that really matters isn't the one on your ID? You probably know your chronological age, the number of candles on your last birthday cake. But there's another kind of age that may be even more important, your biological age. This reflects how old your body truly is at the cellular level. It is influenced by your genes, your environment, and the choices you make every day. Two people can both be 40 years old on paper, but one may have the body of a healthy 30-year-old, while the other is biologically closer to 50. The difference? Lifestyle choices on nutrition, sleep, stress, exercise, and exposure to toxins. That means you have some control over your biological clock, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Because when it comes to aging, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Want to know your predicted biological age today? Download the free Carry Genetics app and fill in the lifestyle questionnaire.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Nia Chambray and Jamel Hartman. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda Medical House, Linda's People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, before we go any further, I just want to say thank you all. Stop middle of the show. Thank you all for your continuous support and engaging. And we really appreciate the feedback and learning about making yourselves vulnerable to give, engage in conversation or add value to the conversation. This isn't about agreement. It's about solutions. It's about brainstorming sessions and finding ways to improve our community. Each of us has a role to play. I am not an expert at anything. I say it all the time. So, sharing my abnormal, and I say abnormal not to offend or lower myself, but sharing my abnormal thoughts, abnormal because they're probably not what you deem normal. And getting to share with you where I'm coming from is a part of us trying to get to a space that we probably either have never been or really want to be. So I just want to thank you all for always rocking with us, regardless of the topic, guest. And if I say things that offend you, please understand. I don't wake up saying, who am I going to offend today? I don't. I really don't. I just, I wake up and I really just say, what problem can I help solve today? So it's all love from this end, and I appreciate you all support. So make sure you give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends and colleagues. Without further ado, we've got a very special guest for the day, and her name is Sloane Johnson. We're talking consumer awareness today, and I'm about to have fun with this combo. Let's give her a warm welcome. Well, hello, Sloane. How are you?
Hey,
I am
Sloane.
fine, thanks. Good morning, Mia. Good morning, Jamal. Good morning, Bermuda. How's everybody doing? You got me nervous now.
Nervous. Well, okay, let's ease the nerves. We need to hear about your awkward moment. Because, folks, now that she's here, before we jump into the convo about consumer affairs and stuff, I'm sitting with two singers, like people who've been paid to sing, right? I'm sitting with two beautiful angelic voices, right? So Sloane came third in the recent Bermuda Idol this past weekend. You can look at it. We're going to talk about it. And I just want to say, I remember Sloane singing when we were young. And when I saw the video of her singing, I was just like, wow, how did I forget that voice? But I just want to say congratulations. And
Thank you very much.
Same here.
With you and Mia, people who are used to being on a stage, I was shocked to hear about her awkward moment. I need to hear, like, what's an awkward moment for you?
I feel like I'm a pretty awkward person in general. So I don't think that there is any one particular moment. I mean, I did wear two mismatched shoes to work the other day.
Was that on purpose?
No. Actually, our administrator noticed it first. She was like, stop. I was walking in the hallway. She's like, Stan, come back, turn around, turn to the other side. She was like, you do realize you have on two different shoes, right? And I was like, well, too bad. They were both black, if that makes sense. But they were two different shoes.
Did one have laces and the other didn't?
No, they actually both had bows on the front, but the bows were different.
That's hilarious.
I'm not laughing. I am. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience on coming. It's a conversation that we've actually had a discussion about our role as consumers, especially during the holidays. But before we jump into that, just tell the audience a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
Oh, wow. So I am currently the Community and Business Liaison Officer for the Office of Consumer Affairs underneath the Ministry of Home Affairs. My background is pretty varied, but always community focused. Every job I've ever had has been community facing, and this job is the same. So my role here is to educate the public about consumer affairs and what we do, what we don't do. I'm here to support businesses, consumers, landlords, and tenants, because we are also the home of the Rent Commission. So all of those things fall underneath our remit here at the Office of Consumer Affairs.
Indeed. We need to have a conversation about rent control and stuff. All right. So March is Consumer Awareness Month. What does this mean and why is it important?
So worldwide, March is used as a time for organizations to focus on what it means to be a good consumer. You know, so often we expect so much from businesses. We want them to be good businesses, to bring in the best products, to offer the best customer service. But who are we as a customer when we walk in the door, and how do we add to that dynamic of making a business a good business? That's what the focus of this month is all about.
And we often talk about it. I mean, you see it on the managers list and all these different people's lists and these things. You know, people speak about how a business did them wrong. But what does it mean for us to be good consumers?
So first things first, whenever I talk to a business owner who has gotten a complaint and we're going through the process of mediating that complaint, I let them know that a complaint is just constructive feedback, right? Wrapped up in really angry packaging most of the time, but really it's just constructive feedback. It's a way for them to take a step back and figure out how they can make their service better, how they can make their business better, and how they can avoid something like this happening again. But we as consumers have to look at how we approach situations. So the first thing I tell people when being a good consumer is to keep your receipts, because a lot of times we don't, and we don't read them, right? Because all of the information that we need to make a return or to figure out what the return policy is, like how many days, is there a warranty on this product? All of those things are usually, and I say usually because it's not 100%, but all of those things are usually on the receipt. So keeping your receipt and checking your receipts before you try to return an item, or you know, before you go bull in a china shop to a local business, just making sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. That's the first point of action.
I love that. That's very good advice.
Like,
hey, Sloane, morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, this is such a great conversation this morning. And I think something that would really be keen for people to know is, what are some simple habits that, you know, we as customers, consumers should adopt to protect themselves or ourselves What kinds of questions should consumers be asking before they make a purchase?
Okay, first of all, do reviews. Is this product or service that you're purchasing purpose built for what you need it for? I'm not just going to buy something because Jamal bought it. You know what I mean? It may not work for me the same way it works for him. Make sure that you know what you're purchasing. So check it out online, look at the different reviews, ask other people how it's worked for them, ask questions about the product. You know, for instance, let's use a flat iron as an example. Will this get hot enough to straighten this? You know what I mean? Just different things. My mom recently bought a juicer. And of course, I went on the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what would be the best juicer for her to get. But she just went out and bought one. And although it meets her needs, it doesn't do everything that she thought it would do because she just went and bought the first thing that she saw on the shelf. She also didn't compare pricing. So from one shop to another, we live in Bermuda. It's not like you have to drive 500 miles to get somewhere to check out a price at another store. I talked about this last week. I recently bought a crock pot. And I went to Masters, I went to Gorham's, I shopped around, I looked at the different brands, the different prices. And I found one that did what I needed it to do within my price point because I went to both stores and looked at all of the different options. So just shopping around locally, definitely, and supporting local business is a big thing too, right? So I also encourage customers, if you don't see something that you want in any of our local businesses, talk to the manager, talk to the buyer, talk to the store owner, and see if it's something that can be added to their current product or service list.
Real quickly, audience, if you have any questions or comments for Sloane regarding Consumer Awareness Month, please, you can send them through. We'll get through as many as possible. But hey, this is our platform. This is our way of engaging someone before you need them.
Absolutely. And I love that, Sloane. And I love that you're constantly encouraging people to shop locally. And many of these local businesses have their own website. So you don't even have to leave your own home. You can actually just compare prices online locally. And lots of them do, next day delivery, which is incredible. But we sometimes see people go straight to social media when something goes wrong. What would you recommend instead? If a consumer has a problem with a purchase or a service, what should be their first step other than going to social media?
The reality is that most of Bermuda's businesses are small to medium-sized businesses.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you should do is actually contact the business. Now, again, we talked about going bull in a china shop when you go into a store. 9 times out of 10, if you're going into like a retail store, the person that you reach at the counter usually does not have the power to handle your request. So if you go and you tell that person off, all you're doing is making their day a really bad day, and making your day even worse, because they still have to go and call somebody else, a manager or the actual owner, to help to facilitate your request. So always go in respectfully, say, hey, this is my issue. How can you guys help me rectify this? Even if it's a food business and you find something wrong with your food. The other day I bought a London Fog, which was my favorite tea from yesterday, by the way. And the person didn't make it right. It was a new barista. And so I called and I said, you guys, I get this drink every single day. Like, they know me. And I said, it wasn't made correctly. Can I get it? Can I bring it back and have it remade? And they said, sure, just, come back whenever you're ready and we'll make you another one. If I had called back or gone back into the business and told that young lady off, it wouldn't have got me anywhere. And I may not have gotten a new drink because of my attitude. So really just approaching things with care and kindness and showing the same respect that we would want a business owner to show us when we're in the store purchasing our products.
I want to say something on that as well. It's weird because I'm glad how Sloane started. I don't want people to miss that. Like a lot of Bermuda's businesses are small, right? I learned about 10 years ago, I was working in Bermuda tourism and Delta had annoyed me. And someone said, oh, just tweet them. You'll get what you want. And I did. And I got what I wanted. Did the same thing with United and JetBlue years later. So with these big companies, they don't like poor reviews on social mediums, right? So that was a thing back then. But in a community that's so small, if I had a bad experience, because just have the conversation. It's like politics. Like, we are so close to our politicians. Like, they literally come to your doorstep. there's no reason for us to kind of do what we do sometimes. So I take the point. I want people to understand what Sloane just said. Like, it's small enough where the problem doesn't have to be a volcano.
Absolutely. And by the way, as a business owner, we want to help our customers. We want to hear the feedback, and we want to, come to some type of agreement with you. So, so just come in and speak to us. Absolutely. But if you come in and your problem isn't solved, maybe, or when should someone reach out to Consumers Affairs, Sloane?
So if you've reached out to a business and you don't find that you are getting the result that you want, but you do have all of your ducks in a row, like you've kept your receipt, you tried to return it within the return window or within the warranty window, or even if you're just unsure as to why the business isn't giving you what you want, you can contact Consumer Affairs. And one of our enforcement officers will contact the business with your concern and try to see if we can mediate on behalf of both entities to come to a result that benefits everybody.
I want to go to the audience real quickly. We don't normally name names on this show out of respect for the greater community. But Shawnette Sumner says, yesterday I went to 2 places to find a product, same product, same brand. It was $149.99 at one place and $79.99 at another. Saying, how is this even right?
So we don't really have control over how businesses do their pricing. But remember, I just said shop around. Because businesses are able to set their own price points, I encourage people, and anybody from Consumer Affairs will tell you. I mean, we preach it every day. Shop around, because you never know. It could be the same product for a lower price somewhere else, but you wouldn't know if you don't do your due diligence.
Indeed. I do have a comment that's not showing up on the main screen, but it's on our YouTube. Philip Trott says, buy locally, but use the internet to Google the product and check for reviews and compare prices. Speak of reviews, I've only started looking at reviews over the last 2 years, right? I was slow to, you all know I'm slow to the game on most things. But what I realized is 2 things. One, people are more likely to leave negative reviews, right? They take more, when they're angry, they're more likely to write stuff. But then the good reviews is always like people who are convinced, like, oh, can you just do me a solid, like sometimes before the service is even fulfilled, right? How much credibility should we give reviews, I guess is what I'm asking.
It's a personal preference, right? Personally, to Phil's comment, I don't just go online and look at prices to compare the prices to Bermuda. I look at the reviews on, like if you Google a product and you put, curling iron and then the brand reviews, there are some independent review sites that are really, really good. But I also go to the actual product site and look at, how people have reviewed the product on the product site. And then I would ask around to people locally who I know have actually purchased the item. Especially when you're reviewing items for like your home in Bermuda, you want to know how it's going to hold up against the humidity and different things like that. So it's really good to find out from other people who may have had the product. I do use social media for this as well sometimes too. I will go and I will post on, my Facebook or my TikTok platform and ask, hey, has anybody ever purchased this product? Can you tell me how it worked for you? What worked, what didn't, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it? And then I would see what other people have to say. But how you do reviews is really a personal preference.
Okay, let's go through. We got a few comments, questions in the audience. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, I believe as consumers, customers, we often get the same energy that we give.
So my response to that, Charles, would be, I'm not here to say that all customer service agents are amazing and that we should just, be nice even if they're not being nice. But 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if somebody is approaching us in a negative way in a store, you can very respectfully ask to speak to someone else. You don't have to, you can choose not to engage with that individual.
We've got another one. Traveling Charlie asks, does Consumer Affairs remind companies that they should inform customers if there is a recall? Sorry.
Yes, we do. Consumer Affairs also monitors recalls, and we have a recall section on our website. So what we do, and see, here's where like a lot of the research comes into play. We go to the International Recalls website and we search for recalls of items that are shipped into, that we know have been shipped into Bermuda. And then we also post recalls on our website of products that we know are popular for those who may be doing overseas shopping or online shopping. So brands that we know are popular in Bermuda, but we do also have a link out to the international site where you can check international recalls as well. So if you are interested in finding out if a product has been recalled, you can check our website, which is consumeraffairs.bm. And we do contact businesses. So we do call around, go to businesses to find out if businesses still do have recalled items on the shelves. So we'll got you there.
Shonette Sumner says, how can most businesses in Bermuda not honor a gift certificate if it expires if the company already has the money? Why does it matter when it's used? Most places in the U.S. have no expiration.
The reality of it is that when you purchase the gift certificate, you're entering into a contract. And if that contract states that it has an expiration date, you have to honor that because it's a contract. Now, in Bermuda, we have something that's called an invitation to treat. So when you purchase an item, it's that business is inviting you to treat yourself to purchase that item, which means you have a choice. You don't have to. So if you do purchase the item, you are bound by that contract. And if that contract has an expiration date, then you're bound by that legally.
Good. Thank you for that. So before we wrap up, Consumer Affairs has an exciting event coming up called Dollars and Cents. Tell us about it and what do you hope attendees take away from it?
I think I'm more excited than the young people that are going to be attending this event. It's a simulation village. So it is a consumer awareness and financial literacy experience for S3 and S4 students from all of the high schools across the island. They will be joining us at Pier 6 starting on Thursday and going through Friday. Once they arrive, each student will be given an envelope that has some fake money and a life profile in it. So the money matches their monthly paycheck and they have to navigate life for 1 month. So 1 hour equals 1 month. And they have to pay like their electricity bill. They have to pay their car insurance, rent, and all the things that we as adults have to pay. And while this is happening, they also have to save. Each of them is given a challenge. They have to save or they have to, pay college tuition or whatever their challenge is. And while this is happening, our staff will be walking around handing out life curveballs. So they may get a little slip of paper that says your car broke down, pay $500. Or you got your lunch at home today, $35. So they have to manage their money. They have to buy food from the grocery store. They have to, just navigate life within an hour. Then afterwards, we're going to come back and talk to them about how they did, who was actually able to save money, who didn't pay their whole Belco bill because they didn't have enough money, or who didn't pay, their health insurance because they decided to buy a PlayStation instead. And we have some amazing community partners and organizations that are joining us over the next couple of days. We have HSBC, who is coming to be our banker. Pronto is our grocery store. Mailboxes is our lifestyle business. Bermuda Housing Corporation and the Public Transportation Board are joining us as our housing and transportation experts. And we'll also have mini workshops by Chantal Shields of Pocket Change Bermuda, teaching them a little bit of financial literacy. And then World Distributors is coming to talk to them about how to be good consumers when making your first big life purchase, which is normally a bike. So what questions to ask, what red flags to look for. It's going to be an amazing experience. And I hope that these students are, if not more excited, equally as excited as I am, because I think I want to participate instead of facilitating.
I'm just going to say this programming note. We are Orlando's ZipX platform, but we appreciate that there's other people are doing something good.
Linda was unable to participate.
Can Cassine be part of it next time? Can Cassine be part of it?
Cassine can still be a part of it if they want to.
Okay.
I absolutely love that. And I love that young people are getting skills that are needed. People were asking earlier, Mia asked, I think some of the things, organizations that exist in Bermuda for young people. This is something that is life-changing. This is not the charity I'm talking about. This is the empowerment we speak of when we speak about it. So I'm excited for it as well. And I look forward to hearing about it once it's done and covering it to see how young people felt. So I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations on that. Got a couple more questions before we wrap it up. from the audience. Charles H. Jefferson II is asking, how does the duty work if you return something because of a recall or for any other reason? I'm thinking about high purchases.
So I can't speak to purchases that you have made, like if you ordered something online and it's been recalled, because that's on you to return that item or on the overseas organization to return that item. I do know that for international purchases, Amazon is really good at facilitating returns on broken or recalled items. They usually use DHL, and they will send you the DHL slip that you take to DHL, and you don't have to pay anything. Locally, the recall is handled through the local business. So any financial compensation or replacement of the item or anything happens through the local business level.
All right. We've got one more from the audience, Sloane. Dr. Patricia Chapman's asking, hi, Sloane. Does Consumer Affairs recommend customer service training to businesses?
So, Ms. Chapman, as part of my remit as the Community and Business Liaison Officer, I will be offering customer training to local businesses, customer service training to local businesses within the new fiscal year. So that is something that Consumer Affairs is looking to facilitate for the business community.
All right.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I be part of that too?
Yes.
For those who want to learn more, want to reach out, learn more, connect with you based on something you said today, where can they go to reach Consumer Affairs?
So our newly revamped website, I'm so proud of our new website, is consumeraffairs.bm. All of our forms, information on how to contact us, different things that we do, advice for different aspects of the remits that we cover is all available on our website. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook at Consumer Affairs BDA. And then, of course, you can call us at 297-7627. Look, I've got the number right here because I keep getting it wrong. But it's 297-7627.
I forget my phone.
I'm being honest because I keep transposing the 2 and the 6. So that I don't give out because I've given out the wrong number a gazillion times at this point.
Yeah, man. Some answer on the phone. This is not Consumer Affairs. Yeah, I get it. Your number. But Sloane, thank you so much for this information. I think Consumer Affairs conversations should be regular. I especially do it obviously during the holidays when people are doing a lot of shopping and cot match. The aggression from people. We have created this Americanized retail thing where Black Friday and people are in lines and like just it's kind of bad how we act for material possessions sometimes. So I feel like there's a lot of conversations we can have about this on a regular basis. So I'm grateful that you came this morning, but also grateful for what you're doing for the young people. So thank you for what you're doing. And please don't be a stranger. Have Consumer Affairs, don't be strangers. There's a lot more we can do. Yeah, and I'd like to report Cassine for great customer service. I got you both. Sloane, have a great day. We'll talk soon.
You too.
Bye, Sloane.
All right, Sloane Johnson, folks. Make sure you check them out. I love that program. I know, Mia, you love it. Mia brings on a lot of young people. But let's take a quick break. We'll come back after this. Folks, you all are going to get this question right. You're not going to let me down. Mia's going to get it very fast. I think last time she got it very fast. I'm counting on her. But if you're this morning's discussion, please give us, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, on Instagram, give us a thumbs up, love, like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, family, colleagues, because it's helpful. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting your blood pressure up like me and getting on these lists and complaining and going all, great. Just get Consumer Affairs up and breathe and, reach out to their, email and just tell them about your concern. All right? Calm down. It's all good. We'll be right back.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need. From top quality foods to toys and supplies, we've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
The Office of Consumer Affairs protects residents by promoting fairness, safety, and transparency in the marketplace across the island. We investigate complaints, manage recalls, educate the public, and enforce consumer protection laws to ensure fair treatment for all. Our team supports consumers by resolving disputes, providing guidance, and helping residents understand their rights and responsibilities. We work with businesses to encourage compliance, ethical practices, and trust, helping create a stable and competitive economy. Through education, enforcement, and outreach, Consumer Affairs helps keep Bermuda's marketplace safe, informed, and accountable.
All right, welcome back, and thanks again to Sloane Johnson Consumer Affairs for stopping by for such an important community conversation. Again, folks, if you appreciate the conversation, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. There's no reason we should see anyone itching and moaning across social media about any customer service experience after this conversation. We should know how to deal with things a bit better. All right, folks, big love to our partners, the PACP companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical Health, and we got a lot of noise there. Hot 107.5 as well, for ensuring we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. All right, folks, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. New sports edition, go check it out. People's Pharmacy. Bermuda Trivia. Make sure you follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok. And I gotta ask you, are you ready, Mia? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm sorry. There are gardeners are at my house. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are you ready? That's the question.
I'm distracted and ready, yes.
Okay, audience, are you ready? Because the gardeners, they might be able to help you with this one. All right, here we go.
Maybe.
Which film? It's a music entertainment. All right. Which film series featured the character Marty McFly?
Oh, Back to the Future?
Oh, you get it, folks. So, some fashion. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Okay. Make two of it. I ain't never seen Back to the Future. Never seen it. Mark Arthur got it. Catrice Ackerman got it. Dr. So, are we the only two who've never seen this movie?
We need to watch it, Jamal. We need to watch it.
All right. Garner, James, schedule a movie date for us all.
That's it.
We've got to watch. See, Suzanne Ingham says, who's Marty? See,
Suzanne.
Three of us. We didn't know. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's be. What? Williamstone living? Seriously?
Oh, sorry.
You and me, we could be ashamed we've never seen Back to the Future. I apologize. I got to get my movie game up. All right, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the discussion that we had this morning. Obviously, an emotional topic, and then obviously the conversation. And this conversation, I don't think people understand. Mia is a business owner, owns Casino. It's where I get my products. But, obviously, you have I guess, a real experience in dealing with consumers. But final thoughts on both today.
Well, the topic of the morning was very emotional, obviously, but I think what really shook out of it, and what I really appreciated about the conversation this morning, is how we weren't just harping on the negativity. We were trying to shed some sunlight into how we can actually create some changes to help our young people. And we've got some solutions, I think, shook out of it. So how can we get more involved in the community instead of just giving money? How can we make some fundamental changes for volunteerism through different companies that maybe are free to give $500,000, but maybe we could give $500,000 worth of time? We've really shook out a lot of different youth programs in the comments. So I think we should post those later about where kids can go after school or how they can get involved and not fall to the wayside. So I found this conversation this morning very powerful, and I want to thank everybody for sharing their stories. And also, I really think we came to some really good solutions that we can all do in our daily lives in regards to curbing violence and supporting our young people.
All right.
As far as Sloane, I love talking about consumer affairs. I love our customers. I love our consumers. I love being a consumer. I love to shop. Mm-hmm. And I found what they're doing with their events that they have coming up very soon really incredible. Talk about supporting young people, teaching them how to live in this economic environment is so important. And I'm so excited. And giving people a platform if they're dissatisfied with their experience in a local business where they can go also. So supporting the community and the youth. Incredible.
I'll say this much. I think, when it comes to the shootings and stuff, I don't really say as much as I used to. One of the reasons I don't say I observe. I try not to get offended by much because people are who they are. But there are certain comments that really trigger me. It didn't just get bad. It's not just an issue. This has been an issue from when I used to have conversations with Miss Marsha, the mother of Shunday Jones, in 2003, after he was murdered, to the various neighbors and parents and friends and relatives who've been impacted by gun violence. I think the biggest difference is now that it's happening in different places. And I think Charles corrected his statement and said that earlier. And also different people. And how we react only shows something that I always thought, that, we just didn't deem other lives important enough. In order to address this problem, we have to be honest with ourselves. And even if you live in the biggest, most beautiful house and have no affiliation, you have to understand that what you do may still contribute to the problems. And so I think that's the hard reality that all of us need to understand, is that Bermuda's only 21 square miles big. And while we may not, I remember we had someone on this show the morning after the murders at Robin Hood. Broad daylight, by the way. Full bar, people watching football. And the person who came on this show, an expat, C-suite executive, had no idea it had taken place. This is a deep-rooted problem in Bermuda, but an expat in Bermuda, that disconnected, didn't even know it took place. That should concern everyone, because this person wants, as Bermuda's rotten, can just leave. And I think they've already left Bermuda. We have to find a solution. And to me, the way to do that is to be honest and understand the role that we play in why it's happening. Every last one of us. As far as the conversation with Sloane, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like to see people writing bad stuff about companies on the internet. I don't. And that's not to protect companies, right? But we talk out of both sides of our mouths, right? In a small community. In one breath, we want people to have jobs and opportunities and so on. And then we go on the internet after a bad experience and badmouth a company that could end up costing the people jobs and opportunities. Not because they are the problem that you had, but because that company now has to close down because of the negative reviews and people are out of work. I believe in mediation. I do. I know you all may say, really, Jamal? No, I do. I actually believe in mediation. I believe in what mediation takes to respectful parties, understanding that they may have to compromise on something or something else. If you have a bad experience, folks, be willing to talk it out. Now, I'm just going to say this. There are some people who are so set in their ways, older people, especially older Bermudians. You need to humble yourself, show some humility. Everything's not going to go your way. And just because it's been done this way for a long time, don't mean that it's right. Normal doesn't equate to right, or does it equate to better. I encourage people, older Bermudians, to show some humility, because the young people are watching. Mia, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
Yes, and this is just a powerful quote that I really love, and it just says, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." It's by Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhi, yeah, I remember that one. I remember.
Yeah. You must be the change you wish to see in the world.
Everybody waiting on somebody to come change their fortunes. It's not going to happen like that. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Windows, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio areas with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Mia Chambray. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are is. Oh, one quick question before we're out. Mia, let them know where Cassine is located.
Oh, we're at 25 Reed Street,
Right
in between Argus Optical and Gibbons, right there.
All right, across from the new Noah's Ark where stationary stores. All right.
That's correct. Yes.
All right, we are is out.